So you're very welcome to another video podcast on our Clubs and Societies week, as we've called them, vodcasts, right? The new video podcast mixed together. I tell you, it's a great word. I'm going to be killed for saying that joke in every single one of them. But we're being joined, our theme of this particular podcast is all about women in sport. And we're joined by four fantastic women who are either currently in IT Carlow or have worked or studied in IT Carlow over the last number of years. So we're delighted, and I want to thank Emma, Emily, Molly and Anya for taking the time to be with us here this afternoon, this evening, this morning, whatever time you're watching this podcast at. Hello guys, how are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us.
All doing well at this most unusual time, yeah?
Yeah.
As best as one can be. Molly, you are not in Ireland at the minute. You're all the way over in Poland. Not on your holidays now. You're there doing some very serious work. You're competing. How is that going for you?
Yeah, it's good. Like, we've been here since Wednesday and we're competing tomorrow in the 4x1 relay. So we're at the World Relay Championships, and if we make the top 8 in the final, we obviously get a Tokyo qualification. Like, it will be very hard to do, but if we get the baton around safely and get a good run at it, I think we'll be fine. But yeah, it's a very big day tomorrow, and the stadium is huge and it's beautiful. So I can't wait. It's really nice to be away again. So it's good.
I'm kind of a little bit jealous. I think we all are.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit jealous, but we won't get.
You know what, the weather is great as well. Like,
Okay, Molly, don't rub it in. Okay, we get the idea.
Sorry.
I'm just curious, right? So you've obviously competed over the last, say, year in various different events. How has it been in comparison to a normal year where you say you're going into a massive big stadium, fans, thousands of fans? What's it like competing in practically an empty stadium, only for probably your team players and whatever, and the other contestants? How is it?
It is, well, when you'd have a huge crowd, you would feel that extra bit of nerves, and you kind of have them external factors and thinking about there'd be the atmosphere of so many people there. But I think now it's been like almost a year now where we've had consistently, no crowds. And to be honest, at the end of the day, you're so in the zone. Like, even tomorrow, like, I'll just be so caught up in what I have to do. I won't really be thinking about the fact that there's no one there. So I think, in the future when people are allowed back, it'll be probably hard to get used to again. So because we did a small meet there in February, and it was just completely silent. So it was a bit different. But at the end of the day, you're so nervous and you want to do well so badly that you're not really thinking about who's watching.
Yeah, you're so focused in the actual zone. Yeah. It is a very unusual time for everyone, and especially I think we're all getting a little bit of Zoom fatigue. Emily, how has the last year and a bit been since we went into lockdown? Was it March 11th or 12th? How's it been?
Yeah, well, I definitely agree with the Zoom fatigue, because I'm playing rugby and working with Leinster Rugby as well. So trying to coach online, do coaching courses through online, absolutely everything online has been, definitely fatiguing. But all the teams have kind of kept together. We've set each other different challenges, all that kind of stuff. So that sort of stuff has been different, but definitely looking forward to getting back on the pitch and being able to play a bit of rugby, because I'm back coaching now. So I'm coaching the kids. So I'm just looking forward to being able to play myself now too.
And has there been any moment where you have been able to play in person, or has it been all online for the last number of months?
Rugby came back for about a month in September. So we got 2 games in that month. But since then, no. So we had about 4 weeks of rugby and then non-contact because the contact was gone. So a little bit of touch rugby and then back to nothing.
It's tough. Emma, how has lockdown been for you over the last number of months or year? Have you got to get out and play, or were you confined to the Zoom as well?
Yeah, probably I'm in the same boat as Emily. So I work for WGA. So again, I was doing a lot of coaching, virtual sessions, and then kind of running your coach education through online too. So it's not probably the ideal thing, but it's probably your best bet in these environments. So again, it's just trying to keep busy, and probably people maybe appreciate sport and activities more important now when we do get the green light to return. But obviously juvenile football and all that's back at the minute. So hopefully we're just waiting for the adults to get back hopefully in the next month, and we'll be flying then hopefully.
And how have the teams that you've been involved with, how have they adapted? Have they managed to cope all right with the, obviously everyone would love to be in person, but have they adapted well?
I think so. Like, I'd like to think that most of our coaches or mentors were in touch with their players. And again, I think it's that social interaction that we're missing. So again, it was like art competitions, there was bake-offs. I never seen as many recipes go up in a WhatsApp group. But yeah, no, it's good. And I think maybe we might learn a lot of things from
Any
COVID.
nice recipes? Any nice recipes?
A few nice ones. Banana bread was a favourite, I think, and then smoothies and everything else. But yeah.
Yes, you must send us on. Will you send those on to us? And we'll definitely. I think I need to try a few new things now over the summer. Anya, how has the last year been for yourself? Has it been the same as the girls?
Not so bad, I suppose. I'm probably in a little bit more of a fortunate position that we were able to get back training in January, and our league kicked off in March as well. So since then we've been back training and back playing as well, which has been amazing. And I think just great to get out with your teammates and run around as well. So yeah, very fortunate and lucky to be back. And I was away with the international team as well, and we managed to get over to Belgium for a friendly too. So it was nice to regroup there as well.
I need to
Strange
get into
feeling
sport.
going through the airport too.
Yeah. I need to get into sport. It's the only way I'm going to get abroad by the sounds of it.
But you don't get to see anything though.
Okay, right. You're confined to
very strict.
Yes. Right. Well, let's park COVID aside for a minute and let's go all the way back to that time when you were a wee little student in IT Carlow. Anya, how was it for you? You studied sport and exercise. Was that? Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
How was that for you? Why did you pick IT Carlow? Of all the places you could have gone, why there?
I think obviously they were launching the sport and exercise soccer course at the time, and I seen it as an opportunity. I was in the international setup and I would have been encouraged to go. I'd already done a PLC in Sallydon College in fitness instructor and leisure management. So I seen it as an opportunity to train in nearly a full-time atmosphere while getting my qualifications as well. So yeah, it was obviously a great experience. I was playing with mostly guys who played a good standard in the League of Ireland, and there was a couple of more girls in the course as well. Paul O'Reilly was the course coordinator and great coach. Yeah, so it was a great opportunity for me to develop both my football and my education as well.
And did you find that it helped? Well, obviously, it probably did help you to get to where you are now as a professional player. You know, did you find that IT Carlow gave you that opportunity to do that, or getting involved in even clubs and societies?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I actually my stay at IT Carlow was cut short because I went over to Doncaster to play in the Women's Super League. After a year and a half on the course, so that was obviously a great opportunity for me, and one at the time that I was tunnel visioned, and I obviously couldn't turn it down. So yeah, I think that IT Carlow would have given me that platform with regards to facilities and the strength and conditioning, and obviously then I was involved in the women's soccer team as well, which was great. It was something different at the time. I think the team was just kind of starting to get going again, and I studied PR and communications. A lot of them girls came out as well, so we had a good time and we enjoyed getting together and playing a game of ball.
Yeah, Molly, you were the only one, I believe, here on the call that didn't study a sports course at IT Carlow. What made you choose what you did? You're in law, isn't it?
Yeah.
And why law of all things?
I don't know. I think it's just something I've not always wanted to do, but when I was around 17 or 18, I kind of was like, wanted to do something different. And I think I kind of stayed away from the sports courses because I spend like 3 to 4 hours a day doing that anyways. So I was like, I wanted something to kind of like break it up and something quite different. And it was always kind of something that I wanted to do anyway. So yeah, like sometimes I'm like, oh, should I have done the other one? But then at the end of the day, I basically, I'm kind of in that area for hours of my day anyways. So
yeah. And I'm curious, how do you balance? So you're saying you train?
I don't.
Yeah, okay, right. It's hard to do that because I mean you're trained for hours upon hours upon hours on a day, and then you also have all your college work. I'm sure you have your social life on a normal year when COVID wasn't there. How do you balance it all?
Well, 2 years ago, so I'm in final year now, but I split my year over 2 years. So as part of my scholarship, they allowed me to do that. And if I hadn't have done that, I don't know if I would have survived. Like I did 2 modules last year and then 2 modules this year. So it actually hasn't been too bad. And the pressure of it has been a lot easier. And even like I've done better, academically over the past 2 years because of the split. So because of that, that's basically how I can handle both. And I don't think I would have. I would have definitely one would have suffered, but I don't think there is balances, like, really. Like, everyone says, oh, how do you have a balance? Like, you don't. One suffers and then you just do as well as you can at the other. I just think that's where it is.
Interesting method. Okay, maybe we won't say that to all the mothers and fathers out there about college. There's great balance. There's great balance. Okay, Emily.
Edit that out.
Yeah. Emily, you
Yeah.
did the sport management course
Yeah.
at IT Carlow. How did you find that for yourself, and where taking it to where you are now?
Yeah, well, it has completely gotten me the job that I have now. I made the contacts through the course, so some of the lecturers through the course I'm working with them now. The coach coordinators they ran the coaching course, and now I'm running that coaching course that they gave to me. So it's been completely just gone straight into my role from the course. Similar to Anya, I suppose the reason I picked it was I was playing rugby at the time, and I was playing on the Leinster under-18s when I got it, so I wanted to take the rugby a bit more seriously and hadn't really had a chance to train. So it was a good chance for me to train like that and study at the same time. And then ended up working with Leinster Rugby too, so it really flowed into that nicely.
And what made you go into the marketing intern of IT Carlow as well? You did was it a year there, I assume?
Yeah, the marketing intern. So obviously it was sports business management, and I just wanted to get a bit more of the business experience before going in as well. So it wasn't like sports wasn't the only thing I had on my CV. I had a bit of that business behind me as well. And then I worked in sales for a little bit before going into the rugby side. And the management is actually massive of what we do as well. Like, we're managing events, we're managing people, we're managing coaching courses. So that's massively helped with that.
Yeah. Emma, you were involved obviously in the masters, a master's course, but something that some people might not know, you have a twin sister, I believe, right? Now, I've been told wonderful stories about this, that you have literally done the exact same thing throughout the years while studying at IT Carlow. You were both doing the same master's course. You both worked as interns in the sports department. How was that for you? Did anyone get confused, or did you have a little bit of fun with that, or how was that?
I got confused. I didn't realize there was two of them for a while until the two of them came to training at the same time.
How was that, Emma? How did you balance that?
Yeah, it was funny enough. Like, we always had the same interests, I suppose. And then both of us went to the same course, did the same module. But then actually, when we went and done the internship in IT Carlow, we worked different shifts. So I was in, say, from 8:30 to 2:30, and then Louise came in at, say, 2 to 10. And then people were like, was I not talking to you earlier on? So there's a few maybe confusion-wise, but we kind of bounced off each other too and helped each other out, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, they think that you'd never have left. Because you're always working there. And how did you find getting involved with clubs and societies? You know, did it help you develop as a person, and your sister as well, and then obviously getting the job in the sports office? Did you build your own skills?
Yeah, probably from being a student, you just I played rugby, I played badminton, played ladies football, but then when you actually went and worked in the sports office, you just see the amount of work and time and effort that goes in behind the scenes. So it's not just a matter of hopping on the bus and heading to intervarsity or whatever. There's so much work that kind of is done behind the scenes. And Cameron Lynch would have been director of sport when I was involved, and then Donal McNally also. So it's really good, and the amount of work and effort that goes in just to make clubs and societies success is huge. And
you speak about the amount of work that goes in, and it's nice to be recognised. And I suppose normally this particular week would have been the awards week, and hence we had to change it, obviously, due to the year that is. But you were, and your sister were winners of the Carmel Lynch Award. How was that for you to be recognised? Yeah, well, Carmel Lynch was pivotal, and I think everything that was involved in sport, and probably all the people on this call can agree to that too. She worked 24/7. I think it was her life and breath, and she was always there as a friendly person to meet, and she'd do anything in her powers to help. So I think she drives a lot that goes on in that college, and then Donal's obviously taken up the new role now, and then even all the other staff that's in the Bar Centre too, and the Students' Union and Student Services, every working together. And I think if you can give that student experience for sports and clubs and societies, it's massive. Yeah, and Anya, I suppose sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. How is it to try and, I suppose, how do you deal with defeat sometimes? Is it do you rally around with your team, or how does that happen? Both, say when you were in IT Carlow, but even now that you're playing professionally.
Yeah, like I think sometimes when you lose, sometimes you learn more than when you win. Obviously, it's can be quite tough to take, but I think when you play in a team sport and in them low times, you kind of appreciate that team atmosphere and your teammates rallying around to pick everyone back up and focus on the next goal and the next target. And when you have personal lows as well, that support system of your team, your family and friends, and is really, really important. But yeah, we're all driven, I think, by success and wanting to win as much as you can. And that's the ultimate goal and the good feeling. But you don't get that feeling without feeling the losses as well.
Yeah, and Emily, would you think the same thing? You being part of a team with the rugby, the wins and the losses.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely tough to take, but like you said, having the kind of team around you makes it a little bit easier, especially in college. You normally just go for a night out, but
Off to the county.
yeah,
we don't do that.
Takes your mind off it.
Yeah. Molly, I'm curious, all the girls here have been involved in, team sports. How is it for you as an individual? So when you go, for example, now you're obviously in Poland, and I know it's probably a bit different than on a normal year, but do you find it can be a lonely sport, or do you just get into the mode and it doesn't matter?
No, like it definitely can be lonely. Like I do like the fact that sometimes when I go out and compete, that it's only my responsibility. Like it's just left to me and it's all in my hands. But then obviously when it goes wrong too, I would just completely blame myself and nobody else. And I definitely I would take like defeats like very badly. But I definitely gotten better over the years. Like they're like sitting in an airport on your own in the middle of Europe. Like you just want to get out of there and we want to quit and you're just questioning your whole life, and then you get home and you're like, no, do you know what, I'm fine, this is what I have to fix and I'll be better the next time. But yeah, the turnaround, I used to be upset for like a week or 3 days, like I'd act like the world was ending.
The mourning period.
Yeah. Honestly, like some days, but like you see, I think if it can go wrong, if it's like over a whole season or over a whole summer, like you will be like, if you don't get like yourself ready, like mentally in check, then you can have like a really bad, time. Like by the end of the season, you're exhausted. So you kind of have to make sure if you're going into a season that your body is in check with your mind, and then you're kind of like set up for the whole summer. But no, I definitely take defeat a lot easier now. Like it's just a day or two, and then I'm like, okay, I have to move on. Like it's not the end of the world,
And I suppose another part of winning is winning. Well, I suppose not been winning, but being recognised for your achievements. And you were the recipient of the Carlow Sports Person of the Year Awards with the Nationalist. How was that for you to be able to be recognised by your own county?
Yeah, that was actually crazy. I actually couldn't believe it, like when that happened. But no, it was really great because it was something that I never ever even thought I would win, and it was within such a. There were so many other great people there too. So no, it was definitely. Sometimes I'm like, oh my god, like why would they think that of me? But it was really nice.
Yeah, it's always good to be recognised in every shape, make, and form. Anya, okay, we're going to come back now. COVID, unfortunately, we have. I suppose, hopefully, we'll be out of this in the next couple of months. What's the plan? I mean, it's looking like the country is starting to reopen a little bit. You've been lucky enough that you were able to perform, but is there any new projects on the line, or maybe team projects or whatever that were cancelled as a result of COVID that can now return as a result of the reopening?
I don't think so. Obviously, it's great to see even when you're going up to club training and you see all the kids back playing as well. And I suppose the next step is to get the adults back and the teams playing matches as well. But yeah, look, I think our focus won't have changed much since the start of the season, and we're only 3 games in. I'm sorry about the banging. Someone's fixing something in next door.
Quite all right.
Sorry. It's out of my control. But I think our focus, the World Cup qualifier draw was today. For the World Cup as well. So hopefully we'll have a training camp for that in January, and the ultimate goal is to qualify for a first major tournament. So that'll be a major breakthrough for women's football in Ireland, and hopefully bring it to the next level. And with regards to club football, I think the goal will remain the same as it did at the start of the season, and 3 games in, 3 games won, but it's 1 game at a time. It's going to be a long season, and hopefully can replicate what we did last year and win the league and the cup double.
Well, we wish you the very, very best of luck in all of that. We'll keep all of our fingers crossed. Emily, for the future of Leinster Rugby, which you're involved in, how's that looking for you? I know rugby has been hit very hard this year as a result of the pandemic.
Yeah. Coaching wise, like, people are just really, really excited to get back. They're not too worried about competitions and stuff. It's just kind of getting that social side, getting the kids back out, getting them back used to playing again. Like, it's been a long, long time off for everybody. Same with the adult sides. It's just getting back on pitch, but we're not massively looking at competitions, just getting that social side back, getting kind of enjoying throwing the ball around again, and getting back together.
Simple things. And Emma, I assume it's the same for yourself, the plans in place, hopefully, to return to some sort of physical workouts or whatever else.
Yeah, definitely, and maybe forget about the Zooms and the Microsoft Teams virtual sessions and hopefully never have to go back to them. And then hopefully games and matches then coming up too. And even I think a lot of coaches have got involved again, so maybe players who can't obviously play, they're coming back and maybe into the coaching side of things because they might get more access to a field or a football or a hurl or a Hamlet at the minute. So numbers are good, and getting the kids back out and just to see them integrating with their friends again, and maybe hopefully some more activities on campuses as we go along this summer.
And I'm just curious, I suppose I've noticed myself in the last number of years, the GA and the Ladies Gaelic Football, all of them have started to see a huge increase in both participation and in viewership, even the All-Ireland finals now getting you. Do you see that yourself and being on the ground and dealing with it firsthand, that there is a huge increase in participation from young women?
Yeah, definitely. Even like I run St. Vincent's GA club, so it's mini league, so it's for 4 to 7-year-old boys and girls. And maybe 2 and 3 years ago when I started the role, it probably was 67% maybe boys and the rest was girls. Now it's nearly 50-50, or actually at our underage level now there's nearly like 60 or 70 girls and maybe only 50 or 60 boys. So girls are nearly getting up the ladder. So it's really good to see, and maybe more women involved in coaching roles as well too, which helps too. So it's really good to see, and hopefully it continues. And the 20 by 20 campaign was very good too, to promote it as well. And then when you have role models like Anya and Molly here promoting the games and promoting women in sport, it's brilliant.
And Anya, would you have seen the same thing over the last number of years, that there's been more of an increase in participation from women in soccer?
Oh, definitely, 100%. And I think, like when I was growing up, I played football in Enniskerry, and I grew up playing football with the boys right up until I was 14, and I had to go into Dublin, into the city centre then to find an all-girls team at the time. So look, and now you go down to Enniskerry and there's just as many girls teams as there is boys teams. And like Emma said, there might even be more girls participating than boys. So for me, it's all about creating equal opportunity, the exposure of the 20 by 20 campaign. There's increased crowds in Tallaght Stadium, the media coverage, all that helps give young girls something to inspire to get involved in sport.
And did it take something like that campaign for you to get involved, or did you literally from day one, I love this, I want to play soccer?
Yeah, so I have an older brother, so I used to go down to Enniskerry when he was training, and one day I was there with my mum and the teams were uneven, and the manager Ger Barton asked me would I like to join in. So I think I just found a love for the game. So every week then I'd be going down waiting for the call up to go play, and I just took off from there, I suppose. And I think that I was kind of in an exceptional position that I was just automatically included. Some of the guys I grew up playing football with are still my good friends today. And Maris Chadwick and Ray Flood were great to me as well growing up too. So then I just found that love for the game now. But you look at the FAI now, they have these soccer sisters camps and all these kind of initiatives just to get young girls involved, enjoy it, make new friends, and just find a love for the game. And the end of the day, it's just being out, getting active and interacting with your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And Molly, were you the same? Was it from an early age, I want to be involved in athletics, or at what point did the love for it start?
So kind of the same. Like my neighbours used to always just go running or go running training, and I kind of just like tagged along, and then I was kind of good at it, I guess, as the years went on. And when I was around 10, 11, my parents were like, oh, she's actually kind of good at this, and they kind of got involved. But they kind of realised at that point there wasn't really any facilities or any coaches, even where I live in Carlow or even in Ireland. Like you know, compared to like the rest of the world or the rest of Europe. So that's how like my mom got involved, and she kind of was like, oh, I'm going to learn a bit here and there to see if I can, you know, help my kid be any better at running. And I guess that's where it all started from there. And yeah, I guess we haven't really looked back since I was about 10.
Yeah, and good thing you didn't look back, because
Yeah.
it's meaning that you're getting on to fantastic things. Emily, are you finding the same thing, that from an early age you had a passion for it, or did it grow out of something else?
Yeah, well, I always loved rugby. I always loved the game, but I didn't actually start playing until I was in TY. And it was like you were saying, there was no girls' teams, and I didn't want to play with the boys. And then one day, my mum was a bit late picking me up, so I went down with my friend, and there was like 4 of us, and then we just kind of started playing, and the team kind of grew around that. So I would have started playing younger if it was there when I was younger. And now going to Nace, it is all the way from under 8s up to women's. They have the teams the whole way up, so it's really, really great to see it, and it's interesting.
And why do you think there wasn't, say, the girls' team back then? Do you think there was a stigma or something? What do you
I
think?
think it's the perception of the game. Like, rugby seems quite masculine. I think people still kind of have that perception of the game, but then the girls playing on telly now, like the Six Nations is all televised, everything like that. It's more visual. That's kind of starting. It's still around a lot when I'm going into schools. There's still people saying like, oh no, my mum doesn't want me to play that, it's a boys' sport. There's still that stigma around it, but it is starting to be broken down a lot more.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's more visual.
Emma, if you, I suppose we're giving a speech now to young aspiring women that are looking to get involved in sport, what would you tell them? Why would you get them involved in sport or societies or anything?
I think it's really good to have an outlet no matter what it is. And even from a coaching point of view, we're always telling our players it doesn't matter whether you want to play a football game or swimming or dance or whatever, find an interest that you're interested in that's outside, and just maybe jump into it really and try it out, and don't be afraid to try it out. And I think probably in college, in my experience from college, I never played rugby, never played badminton, never did yoga like that, but just jump into it. And I think Clubs and Societies open days are a really good opportunity. There's tables all around the hall, and you just go over and put your €2 in and you sign up to whatever. And probably just you meet new people, challenge yourself too, and just jump into it. I think don't be afraid to.
And did you find some of your best friends for life probably have come out of Clubs and Societies?
Definitely, make contacts for life, friends for life, and like probably I came from a sports course too, so it's giving you a chance to meet other people from all around the country that study in different areas, be it engineering, computer and science. It's really, really good, really benefit.
Anya, what would you say to young aspiring women coming up through the ranks? Would you tell them get involved in whatever they can?
Yeah, I think get involved whatever you find a passion for. The more things you do, I think when you're younger, the better. And then if you're really focused on one when you get a little bit older, that's fine if you want to pursue it and a career and be successful. But for me, it's so important. I think you make friends for life, playing football, teammates, and it's so important for your mental health and your physical health as well, I suppose. And it's just a real out. I think you know, if you're having a bad day or whatever and you go out training with your teammates, it just gives you that outlet and that kind of feel good factor as well. And just reiterate like what Emma said, I think college, especially in Carlow, there's so many options with clubs and societies, and it's definitely a really, really good opportunity to try out something new. And I was obviously very football focused and driven, but it was great that I was part of the PR and communications degree, and there was girls in that came along and tried out football, and we had a little bit of crack along the way.
Yeah. Molly, would you say the same to any young women coming up thinking of going into athletics? Would you say start early?
Yeah, I would definitely say start. Well, it doesn't, start early, but like keep going no matter how long that it takes to, you know, get there. But I definitely think it's something worth committing to, even from an early age. Like if it's something that you want to do and you want to be pushed, if you know that that's what you want to do, then it's definitely a route to pursue. Because even in like your teenage years and then in your early 20s, like it opens so many doors and gives you like a totally different perspective on life. Like I kind of got to, you know, travel even as a teenager, and I got to go to every part of Europe and meet so many different people and learn how to interact with so many people and be independent. And it really just, it opens a whole entire different world. And like, it is hard, like, and you do have to commit to it and to push through. But for me, I definitely think it is worth it in the long run. Like, I've a few more years to go, but if I could go back and do it all again, like, I would, you know.
And you said there about meeting new people when you're abroad. Have you met some friends for life from your various different competitions around the world?
Well, yeah, it's actually crazy because you could be at a competition, like you could meet someone from anywhere, like America, Germany, and then you'll be in an airport somewhere a year later and like, oh, there's them, and you know them, and you keep seeing the same people reoccurring. And it's kind of nice to grow up with people as well in the sport from different countries, and even on your own team as well. It is important. Like, obviously ours is such an individual sport, and like it's very cutthroat and it's very independent, but it is still nice to have people even on your own team and in Ireland who understand like what you're going through, because at the end of the day, athletics, as it is every other sport, like it is very hard, but it's definitely worth it.
Definitely worth the effort.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, folks, I want to sincerely thank every single one of you for taking the time to discuss what we did today. I want to wish everyone the very best of luck. Molly, especially, please bring home gold, and hopefully we'll be seeing you in the Tokyo Olympics. They are going ahead.
Yeah, they're going ahead.
We light a candle for you. I tell you what. We
I
light
think I'm like a COVID test in like half an hour.
Oh, right, okay. Hopefully the Olympics now go without any hiccups, because I think this was the first Olympics ever in the history to be postponed. So
yeah, well, I think it's like this one that we're like, we're at the World Relay Championships now, and it's very well run. Like, everyone's split apart. You're not allowed really mix with anyone but your exact team. But like, we're sharing a hotel with people like countries like Brazil and Puerto Rico and Chile, so they really have to like split it all apart.
And how do you have to actually stay in the room? You can't leave? You
can, like, for dinner you can leave your room, and like if you go outside for a walk, someone will come running after you and be like, get back inside. So it's a bit frustrating like that, but I guess
it's such a weird time to be involved in sport. Anya, what have you any upcoming championships?
No, hopefully we have some friendly games coming up in January, or June. Sorry, I keep saying January, in June, and then
it doesn't matter. We've all lost track of time.
I always get them 2 months mixed up. But then in September, hopefully our qualifiers. So I said the group was named today. The fixtures, haven't heard the confirmation of them. So the qualifiers will start then. And like Molly said, it is a bit of a strange atmosphere when you're away, and even we're in a team environment, but we're sitting at dinner 2 meters apart. We're in meeting rooms 2 meters apart, and you're in your own room, so it can be a little bit isolating. But I suppose it's a sacrifice you make to be in that kind of privileged position to be able to represent your country. Best of luck on Wednesday, Molly.
Yeah, thank you.
We're all rooting for you, Molly, and hopefully I'm sure the IT socials and our own SU socials will keep an eye on what's happening, and we'll announce any good news that comes of it. As I said, a huge thanks to Emma, to Emily, to Molly and Anya. The very best of luck in whatever the future holds, with your families as well, and I hope you stay safe over the next couple of months. You can check out all of the podcasts, or vodcasts as we're calling it, on any of the IT Carlow socials, the Student Union socials, or obviously the Sport IT Carlow socials. And I want to thank everyone involved in this fantastic first ever collaborative project between IT Carlow and Waterford IT, as we go towards our technological university, which is going to be hopefully in the next couple of months. So again, thanks to you all for being with us, and we'll talk soon. Thanks a million.
Thank you
very much.
Thanks.